This is a good video. I bet. I think we watched a video about her like a year or two ago. She's crazy. The shit she's pulled off as a mayor for an entire town. Chad, I would never treat you like this. I treat you right. I treat you right, Chad. SmugAlana is never getting corrupted.
Video sponsored by Ground News.
Ground News.
The year is 2021, and Dalton is a village in the Township of Thornton, Cook County, Illinois.
Chicago.
It's around 20 miles south of Chicago, and home to roughly 20,000 people. 30 years ago, it's a fairly nice place.
Yeah.
But now...
Yeah, 30 years ago it also had a lot of jobs in it.
Not quite. A
Not
dire
so
job
nice.
market,
Yeah.
regular shootings, corrupt officials and financial mismanagement. Public fitness centres being hired out for strip shows.
Yeah.
The people of Dalton had enough.
Yeah.
Something has to change.
Something's gotta give.
In April, it's Dalton's mayoral election.
Yay!
And this year, a woman named Tiffany Henyard has entered the ring for the first time.
Alright.
Born and
I'm
raised
ready.
in the village, she'd been a trustee,
Okay.
a locally elected official on the village board, voting for things like budgets and contracts
Alright.
for 8 years now. She also has a bachelor's degree in business administration and an entrepreneurial background, owning
I'm gonna say it. I don't think any of this freaking matters at all. Just at least have some modicum of like sense.
her own burger restaurant. And now, she's just clinched the Democratic nomination for Dalton's mayor and is
Okay.
running against independent Ronnie Burge. Her campaign message was clear: unity. It's time for change. We need love, transparency, and accountability, she says. Lots of
Okay.
knocking on doors and
Very
handing
nice.
out flyers. And on April 8th, the votes come in,
And she wins.
and she'd won.
Yay!
Bigly.
Right?
More than
Chat?
80% of the vote. Tiffany Henyard is now the first female, and at 37 years of age, youngest mayor of Dalton.
Yay!
The village was saved.
The village of Dalton. Uh-oh.
May 8th,
I don't like the sound of
2021.
that.
Tiffany Henyard is sworn in. The after party is big. It goes hard.
Lots
So
of
big,
drugs.
so hard, it ends up costing around $15,000.
How do you even spend $15,000? Excuse me? I couldn't even do that even if I tried.
But it's fine. Tiffany says her campaign is covering all expenses.
Yeah, right.
A few days later, and the administration comes together. She appoints her staff, who she's calling her dream team,
Yeah, the one short of the
and
Avengers.
board meetings go ahead as usual. This is during COVID, so these are currently on Zoom. And things start off pretty good. There's this Stop the Violence thing in June, the first fireworks show in Dalton in over a decade in July,
Okay,
a
fun.
walk for cancer in the autumn.
Yay.
Also, some
We hate
door-to-door
cancer.
knocking for police feedback, a few food giveaways, some tree
Yay.
trimming, bouncy
Alright.
castles.
I'm down.
Things are alright. She apparently has this big calendar of things she wants to do. Loads of events, giveaways, etc. And it's not long
Free
before she's
money.
calling herself the People's Mayor and Super Mayor.
I feel like when you start labeling yourself like that, when people aren't labeling you first, it's a dead giveaway that you're kind of a rat.
Towards the end of 2021,
Yeah.
however, and problems begin to brew.
Uh-oh.
In the village, a teenager has been left dead after a fatal police shooting.
Oh no!
And Henyard is publicly siding with the officers involved. This is not popular, and protests spring up outside her home. 20 officers show up for security.
Ooh,
In
it's a lot of
September,
police
the
officers.
super mayor hires a registered sex offender. It's
You didn't even do a background check. What?
spent a quarter century
This is all
in
coming
prison
back
for
to me, I
crimes
remember.
involving minors, and had just got out in 2018. Henyard allegedly knows about this and decides to make him a code enforcer. Basically, he's employed specifically to go around knocking on people's doors and into their homes for inspection.
Fuck, dude.
For some reason, this doesn't go down well.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Protesters respawn and rush Village Hall. However now, calls on Henyard to resign are beginning to bubble.
Good.
In October,
Should've
a
done
new
the
code
first time.
enforcer is accused of lying during the offender registration process and rearrested. Despite
How can you lie? Don't they just do a background check like flat out? Isn't that how it works? I feel like when I applied for jobs that required background checks, if you lie, like that's it.
all of this, he keeps the job for almost a full year.
What?
That same month, and a woman named Dorothy Brown is in the news too. She's the former Cook County Court clerk.
Okay.
Basically, she'd been in charge of one of the largest court systems in the country for around 20 years. Those years, not great. And she'd end up stepping down in 2020 after years of federal investigations, corruption probes,
The
and
feds.
multiple employees convicted of bribery and misconduct and arrested. Henyard describes her as her godmother and mentor, and she's now the village administrator.
And you think she doesn't know about any of that shit? She got taught, huh?
Naturally, back in May, the board had a few
Politicians,
questions
man.
about this, but it was fine. She'll be transitional, Henyard tells them. She's gonna be there, max, a few months. So they agree
Sure.
and vote her in. And now, she's on the taxpayer payroll again, at around 100k a year. But fast forward to October, and she's still there.
It's like nepotism, man.
It's coming up to 6 months
For
now,
what?
and not so much as an online job posting for the role. Henyard's trustees, not happy. In November,
Pissed.
Henyard decides to make some changes. With recent events, a variety of concerns are coming through during board meetings. And since the start of COVID, this has been done through the live chat function of YouTube. But now,
Wait. Chat, if you run for mayor, maybe don't use YouTube chat for feedback.
chat's getting
I've seen people like yelling slurs in like a live chat, and there's no mods.
muted. Got a complaint? Well,
Go
here's
frick
an email
yourself.
address. Send it there, and we'll definitely read it out during the
Yeah,
stream.
100%.
Trustees' microphones are also being muted, and they're not a big fan of this. They rage quit, and the meeting is adjourned.
Yeah. What a surprise.
Some rough waters here and there, but overall, Henyard ends her first year confident. The village had hired 8 police personnel, 3 firefighters, and had just begun the process of reopening a damaged firehouse, she says.
Yay.
She's also delivered a balanced budget that was implemented on time, something that was rare for the village. She'd had
Okay.
some hurdles, but
Sure.
overall, she's doing great, she says.
Gotta ignore the haters, chat.
Before that, the modern media landscape is horrific.
Live from London, this is BBC.
Misinformation.
Wait, what? Is this real? Is
Before that,
real?
the modern media landscape is horrific.
This is so
Live from London, this is BBC.
Misinformation, bias,
It's real?
lies.
Shut up.
wildly different headlines coming from all directions.
This is why I don't read political headlines.
Absolute bedlam. But with Ground News, things are different. Ground News is a small, independent team that aggregates tens of thousands of articles a day, highlighting their ownership, factuality, and political bias. Glimpse behind the curtain, and see what's really going on, and which facts are reported or left out, depending on the source.
Bias comparison.
Take, for example, this article. Trump taps Mike Waltz as US ambassador, names Rubio as national security advisor. Give it a click, and Ground News will serve up summaries of the story filtered from left to right-wing coverage. You
Interesting.
can also browse the headlines,
Wow.
where on the left, the New Republic is saying,
Learning.
Signalgate idiot Mike Waltz fails up into new job in Trump cabinet,
Idiots.
showing it in a bad light.
Freaking idiots.
While on the right, the Western Journal labels it a painful defeat to Dems, making it sound good. Ground News is also the only app with the
Frickin'
blind spot feature,
idiot.
showcasing stories reported on one side of the aisle and ignored on the other. This feature is good.
That's pretty
I
cool.
check it to make sure I'm not missing out on important news due
If
to
you're into
selective
politics,
reporting.
it's pretty nice.
Ground News is the best way for you to zoom out and get a clear picture of what's going on. Cut through the noise and spin of mainstream media
Whoa.
and see things for what they are. And for a limited time, you can scan the QR code here or punch in ground.news/bigboss and get the same Vantage plan I used for 40% off.
1 year later.
In January, the village administrator role is finally filled.
Wow.
Dorothy Brown is out, and a man named Keith Freeman steps in, joining the Dream Team,
Yay.
which is now quickly becoming a nightmare. There's a massive rift growing between Henyard and the trustees, and they're currently outright refusing to work with each other.
So why don't they just kick her out? I don't understand. The trustees have probably like a stake in it, right?
People in the village are also starting to notice something.
Uh-oh.
Her name and face. They're popping up.
Everywhere.
Quite a bit.
What the fuck?
Almost every village scheme, event, poster, pretty much every...
She's like getting into their minds, chat, subliminally. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. What? Dude, this is a parasocial schizo shit.
social media post. And there she is. Even on the village hall itself.
Oh my
In
god.
fact, if you go to Dalton on
She's my Oshi.
Google Maps, 2 pictures come up. This is one of them. She's also on Instagram, and she's posting a fair amount there too.
Jesus, man.
Vlogs, selfies, dancing, parties,
Wow.
and a lot of singing.
Trust God, I stand with Tiff. Love for my community. If you have to say that shit, I don't know. I just don't buy it ever. Not even VTubers are so parasocial. No, that's not true. There's VTubers out there who really sell it, but like this is a mayor. Wait, Hunter Witch 815, sexy heart. Chat, if I ever catch you seeing that underneath like a VTuber post saying sexy heart, I would fucking kill you. That's horrible.
Some of the posts are interesting. And
Wait, go back! Sexy woman! Heart! Dude, he act... Bro, it's the same guy.
and some bold statements
That's
are made.
crazy.
had the dream, but guess what? I am the dream.
She's also mowing
Dude,
a
he's
few lawns
glazing her.
and ploughing some snow. And she wants you to know about it.
This.
I help everyone. It doesn't matter what you do or say about me.
Also, a lot of dressing up and shooting music videos.
Wait, did she dress up as Cruella de Vil?
To know about it.
I help everyone.
No,
it doesn't matter
stop.
what you do or say about me.
Also, a lot of dressing up
Wait, she actually dressed up as Cruella de Vil. That's really funny. That's ironic.
and shooting music videos.
What?
The village is clearly in good hands.
My cell phone.
In March, the supervisor of Thornton Township, the head of the governing township of
Dude, I'm sorry, what is that haircut? You look like you belong in a Willy Wonka movie.
Dalton, is no longer alive. And his position
I'm sorry,
is
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that, I'm sorry.
now up for grabs. Now, Thornton is the largest township in Illinois.
That's quite big.
It has around 160,000 residents
I mean, if
and
I'm a dead
oversees
man, I'm
17
sorry.
towns and villages, one of which our little village of Dalton.
Uh-oh.
So this is no small position.
Uh-oh.
In the running for new supervisor, 9 potential picks, and
Boy.
Tiffany is last on the ballot, so things aren't looking too great for her.
Alright.
But regardless,
She's gonna win anyway because she's a strong, sexy woman.
the township trustees gather
I'm
and
ready.
voting kicks off. And she'd won again.
Yep.
For the second time, she's the youngest person and first woman to fill the role.
Oh my god.
She'd now
woman.
be controlling both village and township level budgets. Naturally, some people raise some concerns. Conflicts of interest, consolidation of power, financial mismanagement,
yep.
etc. But these concerns are
don't
quickly
care.
brushed off. Thornton
It's just like every other politician, you know?
was
Can't
safe.
trust no motherfuckers.
Hopefully she can bring the township to where it needs to go.
Alright.
It needs to go to another place,
Surely.
the Thornton trustee says. And it would. April 10th, and Tiffany is sworn in as supervisor. She now has her 50k Dalton salary, with a nice new 220k slapped on top.
Look, I don't think you shouldn't be paid anything. I'm just saying, I think 200 fucking... This is almost $300,000. Why so much? You really don't need that. I think there's doctors out there that get paid way less, and they do... I'm sorry, they do fucking more, man.
That's a combined salary of almost 300k.
Yeah.
More than the state's governor. She wastes no time getting settled in. And in Thornton Township Hall, heads roll.
Wait, good point. Why is she double dipping? She's got one job. Why is she allowed to take the extra 50k?
The township's executive assistant is immediately fired, alongside a few others.
It's for all the responsibility that she gets paid that much? Okay, a teacher's responsible for a bunch of children that are your children, or a doctor doing heart surgery. Like, you're literally just proving my point. Like, what? Like, really? You're gonna make that argue? Like, oh, wow, responsibility? Okay, my heart surgeon should get paid a lot more then.
That new township manager looks familiar.
Yeah.
Back in Dalton, and more issues are brewing. See, in the US, there's a thing called the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA. It's a law that gives the public the right to access government records. Internal emails and texts, financial documents like invoices and budgets, stuff like that. And turns out, there's a ton of these requests coming in. People are asking for a slew of documents.
Goodness.
Village finances.
Oh, and that's what I hate about bureaucracy too, like the government in general. When they just start saying, oh, I want this file and this document, and then they just drag their entire ass because it's so slow and archaic.
Licenses, permits, contracts, personnel details, and so on.
This happens
So
in every
Henyard
country,
tells her
to
village
be honest.
administrator, just don't respond to any of them. Jeez.
Yeah, just ignore it, chat.
However, this is illegal.
You violated the law.
So in April,
No, it's illegal if you get found out, obviously.
the village clerk files a lawsuit against her. Trustees have also just voted to sue her. There's a series of complaints here, but conflict of interest, hiring and firing without board approval, and using Dalton's checkbook like an open credit card, chief among them. She's also apparently just dishing out village checks to people, with only her signature and the clerk's signature stamp. However, this is without the clerk's knowledge or board approval. Also, the clerk's access to village bank account information, well, that's just been revoked. Trustees of the village could no longer actually see what's going on with finances.
She's allowed to do that? How did she not get arrested in minute 12 out of 50 of this?
But it's fine. Tiffany takes it upon herself to host Big Bingo, a traditional
Chad, I can't believe this. Embezzlement? Yeah, dude.
bingo night for village seniors. It had now been quite a few months of
Keep the boomers happy because they're the only ones that care. Chad, again, I'm not going to reveal anything, but I once went to a local, where the mayor talks and, like, a bunch of people, and all of them are fucking boomers. Every single person that has the time of day to go on, like, a Thursday night at 6 p.m. are either, like, between 40... And there's only very few 40-year-olds because they have kids and stuff to take care of, but, like, mostly boomers. Yeah, like a town hall meeting or whatever. Yeah, I went to, like, one, like, twice. I got bored. I just did that, like, for fun. And it was so boring, but at the same time, like, I just noticed, I was like, damn, there's a lot of fucking boomers.
turbulence. And despite some phenomenal work,
I just wanted to hear what it was
people
about.
in the village aren't too impressed. Add on top the recent allegations of financial mismanagement and conflicts of interest, and things are reaching boiling point. Residents, trustees, the village clerk, everyone is just appalled. How could this be happening? She'd been so professional before.
Dude, the peaking mic, man.
Happening. She'd been so professional before.
You don't want nothing to do with it. There's nothing in those applications, and God damn it!
and just less than
Did they use Xbox 360 mics? We need to bring them back. I think the crunchiness really adds to like people's speech.
a year in, the Dalton
That's
Village
amazing.
Board decides Henyard probably not the right person for the job, so they go rogue and scramble to pass through a public vote to recall her. One issue: Dalton doesn't actually have a recall process, so they decide to assemble one themselves, and in June, 2 questions are added to Dalton's ballot. The first, to establish a recall mechanism, and the second, to recall Tiffany Henyard.
Y'all make sure y'all go and vote no to the recall, because my work speaks for itself.
And both go through with 56% of the vote. It was over.
Yay!
Voters had nipped things in the bud and taken her out.
Just kidding, she's gonna stay. There's another 35 minutes in this video.
Henyard was gone.
JK Lamau.
Hold on. Before she steps down, a Cook County judge chimes in. That vote had procedural issues. Also, the questions are way too confusing.
She's fucking him. She's fucking this guy. This guy right here.
So he declares the vote invalid. She's staying in. So for Tiffany, celebrations.
And I just want people to understand, I'm happy. Leave me alone, because I am.
And signs begin to appear around town. I'm your forever mayor.
After she won the recall, she put a sign around town saying, I'm your forever mayor.
Dude, that's diabolical, man.
Which pissed a lot of people off.
Her first board meeting back also
Yeah,
looks
fucking
like
bet.
this.
How y'all doing? Ain't no stopping us
Yes,
now. We on the move.
Woo!
Thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate it.
Yes, queen. Woo! Yes, girly pop.
This. Okay.
Oh, I can't.
I see you.
Dude, that's crazy. That is insane.
You was feeling that, huh? I feel you.
By summer
He's not
2022,
happy.
in-person board meetings are back in action.
This is where I, the mayor, address the community about concerns, hearsay.
Now, historically, Dalton Village Board meetings have a thing called Citizens' Address.
Okay.
This is where members of the public get a chance to speak to the mayor and
Yeah, most places do that. I've seen some. It's very funny.
trustees directly, asking questions about what they'd just discussed and voted for, and voicing concerns, to which the mayor and trustees
Mostly
would
boomers.
respond. However, Tiffany has a different idea. And Citizens' Address becomes public comment. People can still make statements and ask questions. However, now, no one has to actually answer, removing the point entirely.
You think they're converting the police and military over to gangbangers and crooks? Just because it's fun and because they want to give you some power?
Dude, this is a young Alex Jones, too. Holy shit, this is like 29. This is like 2010 Alex Jones.
Humanity's gonna come together.
still.
We know we're under attack!
In September, Henyard decides to do some good, so she sets up the Tiffany Cares Foundation, a non-profit charity supporting people with cancer. In October,
how nice.
she even organises a march to Springfield, a 10-day bike ride to the state capital to try and pass a bill that would give tax breaks to cancer patients.
Springfield.
I have created a bill to give everybody $5,000 if you are suffering from cancer.
Pretty nice.
Okay.
The year is now 2023. Shootings are still ongoing,
Woo!
crime is rising,
Yay!
and taxes and water bills are going up.
Oh, that's not good.
Tiffany Henyard is currently constructing a $115,000 ice rink in the middle of the village.
Why? I hate that shit. I hate it when the towns do this shit. Priorities? Why is nobody voting, like, against this? You can't vote against this shit. Ice cream? No, ice rink. Ice rink. Like, where you just skate around.
The board would
Maintaining this shit is expensive, too.
never approve of this, so Henyard slid an under-the-table payment to a contractor, and they got to work.
Oh my god.
However, the board eventually finds out and halts the payments.
Good.
So Henyard shifts some cash to a separate contractor, and they finish the job.
It will be built by tomorrow. And remember, Ain't no stopping us now. We on the move.
And on Saturday the 25th of February, it's the grand opening.
3, 2, 1.
And the Justice Rink is open to
But
all.
why?
Tiffany is quite excited.
It's your mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
If everything is amazing in your town, like, there's nothing stopping you from doing this recreational shit. I have nothing against it. Genuinely, I have nothing against it. If your town's perfect, you're having fun, you want to do a little entertainment project, like, what are we doing, man? I hate this. Like, where's your priorities? There's people dying out on the streets!
People's mayor. We here in the village of Dalton and we about to get our skate on. Remember, when all 5 of them trustees said no, look what God did.
Oh my god, she's actually gaslighting and saying the trustees are bad for not doing it.
This is us on ice right here. See it?
However, after that, rinks.
Oh my god, is this a Bulls Close reference? Oh my god!
Closed. That is one of the only times the public will be allowed in to actually ice skate. Turns out, maintaining an ice rink
It's
quite expensive.
Yeah!
Wait a minute, what's this? This ain't enough. Make it enough.
They also have no
Make it
staff to
up.
operate it. They couldn't even afford that if they wanted it. So from now on, it's essentially Henyard's own personal ice rink, only open on events of hers.
It was only open when she was having an event there, and she invited
It was
the residents to
planned.
come there to her event.
That's all right. Tell them. I got a feeling. Okay. All right.
A second ice rink is also apparently in the
Oh
works.
my god, I'm cringing
Okay,
so hard.
trustees
Second one?
seriously not impressed. They can't see the exact financials, but they know things in the village aren't great. So in an attempt to
Find
curb
money.
spending, they block all current and future payments to vendors.
She's gonna find
Tiffany
a way.
hears about
Shay.
this, and she's not pleased. So in March, she rocks up to a village board meeting dressed as a crack cocaine dealer from a movie.
I just don't understand how you can get away with so much. Like, I can't get away with anything. This seems... It's real? Yeah, I know it's real. I know. She's a theatric performer. She's rubbing it in.
She is starting a Dalton Village board meeting
It's a
dressed
circus.
like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City.
She also has a DJ who's blasting the song Bitch Better Have My Money.
Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ. I just had a question. And I'm looking
Oh
for that
my
Rihanna.
god.
I'm good with you. I'm good with you.
She later
Dude, it's a circus, man.
denies doing this.
Your critics say you came dressed up as Nino Brown.
I did not come as Nino Brown. I did a scene from Martin. I did come as a scene from Martin. I even made fun about it and did a skit and posted it on my TikTok just to show people my sense of humor side.
In May, Tiffany and her staff pack their bags.
What?
It's time for business.
Business.
And they take a plane to Vegas for an economic development trip.
Yeah, economically developing my wallet. Let's go!
Same month, a Thornton Township employee is found with a bag of weed and an unregistered gun hidden under a government car seat.
Oh no!
They let y'all have weed in these cars? I know they don't.
Oh, look at that body
No,
cam.
y'all got a magazine in the vehicle. They let y'all do that? What?
He's arrested.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Resisting arrest! Dude, he's going Super Saiyan!
The police in Dalton, interesting. Ever since those protests outside her house a couple of years ago, Henyard had kept a permanent security detail of at least 3 officers around her at all times.
Why?
Her own personal motorcade, driving her around everywhere, even while she's running errands. And apparently,
Why?
she's running the town like a mob boss with them.
Grazie.
In July, a former trustee and vocal critic of
Grazie.
Henyard wakes up to find a dozen bullet holes in her tenants' cars,
Dude, she's actually just a gangster.
parked
Who
outside her
taught her
house.
this? Oh my god, it's a drive-by!
Before that,
It's a
Henyard had turned
drive-by.
up with a caravan of police and city workers. And before that, a snowplow.
Problem. I'm like, oh, you call me? Oh, no. We have Valerie Stubbs, look. Yep. And I'm helping her. I help everyone. It doesn't matter what you do or say about me. Everyone needs help. Just remember that.
Man.
Watch how you treat people because you never know when you need the help.
Yeah,
Safe
you're
to
right.
say, she has suspicions about who did it. So she goes to the police to report the shooting. But they're not interested. They won't even give her a police report to file it. Also, own a bar in town and just refused a political donation to Henyard? Expect a knock on the door.
It's a mafia! It's a mafia!
Because police are allegedly also going around town, raiding bars and stripping their licenses.
Yeah, give me your finest hose. What a life, man.
This happens to both Pablo's and Rinky's bar and cafe, with around 10 police cars rocking up and pounding down the doors. Customers are apparently pushed out the way and threatened with arrest, and licenses are revoked for both.
All the employees, they're gonna lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
Lacey's Place, another chain of bars, fails their license renewal due to a tax audit. And a local trucking company was raided and shut down back in January.
Oh my
They'd
God.
just turned down a $3,500 donation to Henyard. A ton of places are also having issues getting licenses in the first place. The suspected plan for this was simple. Endlessly delay signing off on licenses needed by businesses to open up shop.
But then how are you gonna get the taxes for your money for all your spending, you dumb bitch?
Despite the village board approving it, cutting off revenue, while they still have to pay rent, tax, and general overhead.
I just subtracted from today's profit. And there's no money in here.
Eventually, facing bankruptcy, owners have to sell up at fire sale prices.
You're killing
the entire
your
business can now be
town.
scooped up on the cheap. And once it's in our hands, look at that. I think the license is ready to go. The business is instantly profitable, and the location is flipped for a nice chunk of change. This almost happens to St. Patrick.
I would call her stupid, but she's just actually evil. She's not mismanaging, she's doing it on purpose.
A newly built 3-story restaurant in the village. The liquor license had been approved by trustees, but Henyard says no, refusing to sign off on it for over 6 months.
Wow.
However, they sue, and she's eventually forced to sign by a county judge.
Oh my
There's
God.
also a local woman who'd bought a whole strip mall to turn into
Oh my God, I remember this. We watched this. This really nice lady.
a non-profit food bank for half the county.
Oh
However,
my God.
Henyard says no again, and her permits and licenses
What
are
a
delayed for months on end, while she still has to pay the property tax, rent,
Dude, she's such a
overhead,
slag.
and
Oh
more.
my God.
If this isn't able to be funded, whose pocket does it come out of right now?
Mine?
In September, reports begin to dribble
Yeah,
out,
watch the whole
and
thing.
turns out that police detail of hers, not cheap. It's actually costing the village hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
All
Her officers are
taxpayer
paid quite
money.
handsomely, and they're putting in some substantial overtime. One officer is paid for 303 hours of work in a 2-week period. That's
What is he doing? Banging her like all day and night?
21 hours a day, every day.
Yeah, so he's literally watching her sleep.
This results in a single overtime paycheck of around $13,000. The overtime checks alone are kicking officers up a tax bracket here.
Mayor, mind if I ask you a couple questions about your security detail?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
I'm asking
not.
her.
Yeah, she says no.
You need security to protect you from questions from reporters?
That motorcade, not cheap
Yeah.
either. The village paid
Those are my smugglers. Don't get near me. I don't want to answer your stupid questions.
$50,000 for one Chevy Tahoe.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
Around 40% of that is
I love that
interest.
clip.
That's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes
Jesus.
absolutely no sense. You're not making great finance. Excuse me? Please stay facts. Cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71.
Why is the interest $55,000? What happened? What?
Total lease price
More than
$149,146.20.
What are
Tell
you,
me if it's not
stupid?
facts, because your signature is all on it.
It's because it's not her money, so who cares? Yeah, I guess so. Like, fuck it. I want to pay half of my fucking thing in loans.
I don't see that.
Due to all of this, the police department itself, chronically understaffed, with only a few officers on shift at any one time. This is
well, yeah, because all of them are busy banging her in her house.
In a village with regular shootings and rising crime rates. Naturally, the village finances are currently caving in.
Uh-oh.
And the deficit is absolutely ballooning.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. We'll just get the police to linger around private car parks, snap some pictures of cars that pull up to the pavement, and then mail them a $500 ticket a couple of weeks later. This is not popular.
That's illegal!
People look around town. Something seems different.
My God.
It's not just Dalton. Now,
Vote for I love this scene with the aliens.
her name and face are beginning
Vote
to
for
appear
Dalton.
all over the place.
Vote for Dalton.
You can't turn your head in the village or the township without seeing it. A full frontal assault on the senses. She's everywhere.
Oh my lord. Get her out of here. How much do those billboards
On the
cost?
township's Instagram, an absolute blitzkrieg. It's peppered head to toe with pictures of her. Government vehicles, buildings, even rugs in the township. Tiffany A. Henyard. There's also Tiffany Henyard calendars.
Featuring all the important dates to remember, including her birthday.
And what's
Dude, what is she, a fucking VTuber? Guys, get your fucking SmugAlana calendars. Everybody has to have my birthday like marked and penned into their shit.
that in the distance? Is that?
Oh my god, this is so fucking funny.
There are 122 of these, costing the township around $22,000. The board was never consulted. And hold on, does that say Thornton? And new ones have to be made and hoisted up again.
What?
Also on the taxpayer's dime.
How?
It's not just
Who
billboards.
cares?
Purple banners are springing up all over Dalton too. This also costs around $20,000 and was never approved.
$20,000 for banners. Wait, I gotta do that sometime. I gotta find like a town in the middle of nowhere and then put like a bunch of SmugAlana, like watch SmugAlana on Twitch.tv and put it all over a town for like I don't know, like a month or something.
Company installing them says they've never been paid.
No, we have not received any payment for the banners or the brackets. The total is $19,899.60.
I cannot believe the audacity.
No, we have not received any payment for the banners or the brackets.
We love you and there's nothing you can do about it. First black female mayor of Dalton. Women and girls. Mentor and youth. Chat, if you need to say that many times that you're female and that you are black and that you are empowering women and girls, you're not actually doing that. Let's just be clear.
The total is $19,899.60 with the freight.
But the vendor says they have yet to be paid for them and other items totaling more than $85,000.
Okay, things are getting a bit concerning. But hey, at least Big Bingo is still going strong.
Yay! The boomers are happy! Bingo! Bongo bingo bongo!
In May 2023, some reports come out about Tiffany's cancer charity, and turns out, not so good. When she'd first
She was
registered
stealing
in
all the cancer money.
2022, she'd apparently hidden a little payment deep in the township budget, which board members signed off on. And on the same day the charity is created, it receives a $10,000 payment from Thornton.
Why did you and the board vote to give your foundation $10,000?
I'm the face of the foundation. My name is nowhere, sir. I'm the face.
You're the face.
Also, that march
the
to Springfield,
face.
let's have another look. Back in October 2022,
I'm the
Tiffany
face.
had organised a 196-mile, 10-day bike ride from Dalton to the capital of Illinois.
Going to hell!
She said she'd march straight into the halls of the state legislature and get a bill passed that would give tax breaks to cancer patients. And at 10 AM on October 4th, 2022, they set off. And Henyard and a few Thornton staffers kick off the march by getting on e-bikes.
Y'all see my bike?
Oh my god, you're such a tool. She got a freaking custom bike with her name on it. Man, I want to smack a bitch.
So included on the march, a flatbed trailer with a photographer flying a drone, a DJ, a caravan, and multiple village and township vehicles. And of course, a ton of pit stops on the way.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
Okay, that'll be $680.
Okay.
All courtesy of Thornton and Dalton supplied credit cards. Any bills or expenditures?
Yes,
Stick it
queen.
on. And they wine and dine in a plethora of restaurants and hotel stays en route.
$10,000 in hotels. Wow, chat. You spoil me.
And the march to Springfield ends up costing taxpayers around $12,000.
Walking through those.
Someone typed average Alana snack. I hate you. You managed to squeeze that one in. You really had to do it to me, huh? The $680 meal.
We are in Godly now. We in Bloomington, baby.
I can pretty much map out their entire Springfield trip on the Township credit cards.
This is excluding
That's
a separate
sad,
payment for 1,000 white Tiffany Henyard t-shirts for the trip. That comes in at around $17,000. When they actually get to Springfield, the state legislature isn't even in session, and the cancer bill is never filed. It never...
She couldn't even check. She was so absorbed in her story and her fucking ridiculousness, man.
never existed in the first place. The charity also never filed a financial statement, so the state attorney general shuts it down. Tiffany claims she was never involved.
You are being called crazy, deranged, saying that you are stealing funds. You have a charity that from the Attorney General's office, I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy. I'm not
You have a
deranged.
Tiffany Henyard Cares, your foundation.
I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation.
However, its Facebook page shows it's literally just a rebrand from her burger restaurant page. June 2023. More reports. Apparently Dalton owes more than $427,000 for some street paving done in 2002.
Oh my
and that
lord.
tree trimming. Well, that's gonna cost $500,000.
Oh my
This is for a
God.
single month of it in 2023.
You're supposed to have a list of approved contractors that have been vetted. They have to check up on these folks to make sure they're good. There's no such thing there. She's just handing out these contracts willy-nilly.
Not one of the 7 companies involved were on the village's approved contractor list. They didn't even have a contract with the village. Trustees are still refusing to clear Tiffany's bills, and lawsuits from vendors are now flooding in. A bank is also threatening to repossess more than a dozen village vehicles, including police cars,
Yep,
because
fair.
these payments are being missed.
How is the state
People
allowing
in
this to
Dalton
happen?
are now
This is Illinois. This is like 20 miles away from Chicago. It's a very corrupt state, unfortunately. It's very sad.
incredibly concerned. So trustees formally request village bank statements. They're
Chicago.
denied. December, and during a board meeting, trustees in the township are handed a 7-page ordinance to sign at the last minute. There's no time to read it, but they sign anyway. And turns out, what they just signed means if Tiffany gets re-elected as supervisor, the position's pay stays at $224,000. Anyone else gets voted.
So what they should have done is take all that salary and put it back into the roads and shit. That's what I would have done.
in,
Frick
and
'em.
that goes down to just 25, a 90% pay cut. Nice. So by the end of 2023, various things had come to light, and it's slowly beginning to look like Tiffany isn't quite as legit as previously thought,
Oh,
and
no,
more things
really?
are surfacing. People online managed to dig up a decade-old mugshot from the Chicago Police Department. Is that the people's mayor breaking into someone's car?
So she's a criminal. Hell yeah! Well, how would she know how to do all that criminal shit if she wasn't a criminal in the first place?
This was in 2016, while she was a sitting trustee. She'd also made the news in 2019 for effectively being
How did nobody check? Don't you do background check or some shit?
a slumlord.
I want to talk to you about that house on Dearborn. Can we do that?
My attorney's right here, so if you got any questions, I have legal counsel. talk to my attorney.
So you want me to talk to your attorney and not you? You can't tell me how that house failed an inspection in October when it just passed it beforehand?
If you have any questions, talk to my attorney.
Gave out petrol to residents during her 2021 campaign.
She's good, Chad. She's good.
Probably illegal.
Her bachelor's degree, probably fake.
Probably
and her
fake.
entrepreneurial burger restaurant, not.
Yo, Hoshi, what up? We're watching the worst mayor imaginable. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it.
Not looking great either. Over at Good Burger, taken from the movie
Good
Burger,
Burger.
there are issues.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Your ingredients.
We bake burgers.
What's in there? I can see the blood. And you made this?
My very own turkey burger.
That is hideous. At least it's seasoned.
What?
Now you know that's not fair, sneaking up on a man eating a Tiffany juicy burger. Seeing that you're here.
Look at that smile.
When a man get to hold a burger like this in his hand, this is like heaven.
It's
Brother, it looked like a freaking wet sponge.
operating at the South Suburban College, and turns out they have more than $1,500 in unpaid bills from her. The college has filed numerous complaints. Unsanitary conditions, failure to clean equipment, inadequate staff, inadequate background checks on staff, 33
Oh yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
months of late rent, and failure to pay commissions for 4 years, and then attempting to pay it off with a bounced check. She'd also tried to pitch Good Burger on Shark Tank.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Go to Good Burger, yeah.
A fun, friendly atmosphere where I would like you guys to come and check it out. I am urging the Sharks to invest in Good Burger because I would like to have a mobile food truck. That's right, you heard it, mobile.
Mobile food truck, man, that's crazy. 13 months late rent, what the fuck, I'd get evicted? That's what I'm saying, man. I remember I wasn't even late. I didn't have my auto payment for my rent set up. And I was late by like 2 days, and I immediately get a call from my landlord. I was like, are you gonna fucking pay or what? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't set up the auto pay. And they were like, oh, you better fucking not. It never happened again, but still, I was like, man, yeah, pay now, bitch. Wish I got that kind of leniency.
I would like to be on the scene and go to different locations and be mobile. I am seeking $100,000 for 10% equity in my business. Here we have all these.
Excuse me, what?
$100,000 for 10% equity in my business.
100 grand for 2% equity. That 3%? No, did I mishear it? Hold on, go back.
Truck. That's right, you heard it. Mobile. I have a brick and mortar location, and I would
is
like
it
to be
10?
on the scene and go to different locations and be mobile. I am seeking $100,000 for 10% equity.
Oh, it is 10. That's still pretty fucking bad. Not gonna lie.
Here we have
10%'s kind of bad.
hand-packed patties. I just put it in and I inject.
That fucking patty's huge.
Look at that go. 1,000,001 reasons of why you should invest here at Good Burger.
But no luck. Good Burger is eventually involuntarily dissolved by the Secretary of State. (2024), and Dalton is now on the map.
I love that it's a fucking Fallout 3 background. Look at that.
Nationwide news almost every other week. People's gardens and basements are also flooding. A plague of potholes on the roads. Traffic lights not working. And then a ton of police vehicles about to be repossessed. That ice rink is also holding up well.
Oh, man.
Bad.
But it's alright. Henyard is hard at work, planning ice cream socials for seniors and dancing.
Again, she's placating the boomers.
In mid-January, she flies to DC for the annual Mayor's Conference, where she gets a tour of the White House and meets Joe Biden.
Oh
she
my
ends up
god,
sending the
dude, look at those crazy eyes. Look at those crazy eyes.
She ends up sending the bill
Joe
for this
Biden, wake
to the
up.
wrong taxpayers. Okay, at this point, village and township staff are becoming increasingly frustrated and getting more and more vocal with their criticism.
no!
So Tiffany clamps down. And when staff in the township get to the office, they notice something. None of their key fobs work. Had Henyard
She locked
changed
him
the
out.
locks?
She locked
They're
him
now
out.
unable to get into the building and do their job. Also, The residents' sensitive tax documents are just scattered all over the building. In February, there's a township board meeting. Residents rock up as usual to sit, watch, and ask questions. However, this time,
Oh, she pissed.
when they get to the stairs leading
She
up to the
pissed.
boardroom, their path is blocked. They're apparently told the meeting is actually taking place in the basement, so they head down there. And when they get there, nothing. Just a TV in the middle of the room, live streaming the meeting taking place upstairs.
That's so fucking good.
However, audio issues on the TV mean no one can actually hear anything.
Wait, that's amazing.
And within 4 minutes, the meeting upstairs is over, and Henyard is gone. Meanwhile, in Dalton Village Hall, lockdown 2. This time,
No
it's not
one's
just a few
allowed in.
employees. Almost everyone is locked out of the entire building.
Yep.
Instead of walking in and speaking with a help desk, residents are now forced to handle bills or licenses through a security guard stationed behind a window.
Oh my god. I just had a heart attack. Oh my god, I'm gonna pass out.
Entire building. Instead of walking in and speaking with a help desk, residents are now forced to handle bills or licenses through a security guard stationed behind a window in a small, cramped vestibule. Even trustees, they're locked out too.
Oh
The locks
my
have been
lord.
changed, and their mailboxes are now outside of the building. In response, they hold a board meeting in a park. April 1st, a board meeting
just
is
get
set
some
to take
fresh air,
place in the
chat.
village. And for such a special occasion, residents are actually allowed in. However, this time, things are different. Around 100 people show up,
Holy
and only
shit.
42 are allowed inside. This
Wait, less than half? That's criminal.
is after getting wanded down and walking through metal detectors. This means dozens are locked outside, and they're not too pleased.
Yeah, I'd be pissed
Hordes
too.
of people are now banging on doors and windows, giving the session
bang,
an
bang.
atmosphere more akin to a round of COD zombies than a run-of-the-mill village board meeting. It's around the same time that FBI agents begin spawning in Dalton and asking
Uh-oh,
questions.
feds.
Subpoenas are dished
That's really bad. When the feds get involved, you weren't paying your taxes or some
out like
shit.
hotcakes. They hit Good Burger, Henyard's property management company, her political fund, and the
Sussy.
Tiffany Cares Foundation. Township finances, business dealings, personnel files, tax documents, credit card expenditures,
sniffing
and
her
vehicle
butt,
use
chat.
are also requested. They also subpoena
She's herself a fed, no? Well, she's a convicted criminal. So, no.
her boyfriend. Henyard comes out swinging. This is a smear campaign, she says. She's under attack by a corrupt board of trustees, while she's working tirelessly for the people. Paving
yes, of
streets,
course.
building parks, and constructing ice rinks.
Yeah,
she
that no one
creates the
asked
YouTube
for.
channel Tiff Speaks the Truth to post receipts. Her defense is strong.
Basically fighting against the devil, the evil.
Dude, these people are insane. I'm fighting the devil. That is right.
Spirits. I'm the good spirit, they the evil spirit.
Also, amid the village's intense financial concerns, she announces a $1 million giveaway on Facebook.
I'm sorry, what? But you could just spend the $1 million on the roads and the tree cutting thing. The devil, yeah, the devil got that $1 million.
Facebook.
The devil.
Remember that economic development trip back in 2023?
Yeah, Vegas, yeah.
In April, we get some news. Turns out, one of the trustees on the trip had allegedly been sexually assaulted by another. She'd told Tiffany about this at the time,
And she didn't care.
Tiffany's alleged response: lay her off and cover it up.
By the way, female empowerment. Do you remember what I said a couple of minutes ago? She's all about female empowerment. She's the first black woman in the office. Yeah, totally. Totally, very much. She cares a lot about other women, for sure.
And now, Tiffany has dished another lawsuit. An activist from Chicago is airdropped into Dalton.
Chicago.
And during a village board meeting,
Chicago.
he confronts the trustee in question. Things get heated. Also, that trip,
Lord!
first-class plane tickets for everyone, and a lot of smashing. Car rentals, casinos, Ubers. bubblegum shrimp. Altogether,
that's
over
awesome. I love bubblegum
$34,000
shrimp.
spent, courtesy of the village of Dalton. No business ever came of this economic development trip, and Tiffany denies going.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
No. Wait, what was their response? She didn't say no. She just said Look at that smirch.
What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
No comment.
In April, a resolution is voted through, requiring Henyard to actually submit village financial records. She vetoes it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
She's also now using a gold microphone. Also, turns out her village administrator Keith Freeman has been a very naughty boy. And in March, he's indicted for bankruptcy fraud, apparently hiding $100,000 of income through a pass-through company and swiping an unauthorized $90K from a previous job. So he has to go. This is a chance to change, to get someone in that's actually good. A new slate and clean record. She replaces him with Michael A. Smith, a man with 8 criminal charges.
Do people just not do... Like, I get worried about getting background checked, like, instantly. When people are like, oh, yeah, Lana, get a job. It's like, okay, yeah, I got a job. And then they go up your ass about everything. Do I just live, like, in an annoying state or something? Like, I don't know. I feel like they'd at least check after a little bit.
Including domestic battery,
he smacked the bitch.
impersonating a police officer to steal petrol, and the harassment of a school student. Then on Good
Okay, beat his ass into oblivion. What?
Friday, her chief of staff clocks in for a shift of Big Bingo.
Oh, hell yeah.
However,
Bingo.
mid-shift, she feels funny and checks her blood pressure. Slightly elevated. So she goes to the hospital, and turns out she's actually having a heart attack. Naturally, she doesn't return to Big Bingo.
Karma.
A couple of days later, and there's a meeting at the Township. Here, Tiffany...
Alana does more background work choosing a mod than this girl. Unironically, I think we're gonna do very thorough background checks on you guys. Yeah, whatever you say! Get held against you if you ever apply to be a mod.
allegedly tells her that's not an excuse to call off work, and next time take your blood pressure meds. Okay, we tried a recall, no luck. We tried to curb her spending. Nope. The FBI are here, but their investigation could take years, and right now, we can't even see the village's finances. So the Dalton Village Board decides on a new approach. Let's get a special investigator to come in and basically work out what the fuck is going on here.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
And their choice?
I don't get it. How is that even legal? Can't you just go to the higher ups of like state and government and just have her show the funds? Like, what's going on?
A woman named Lori Lightfoot.
Wait, we've seen her before!
Trustees vote, and the special investigation goes ahead. During the next meeting, Henyard just vetoes it.
You know how much I sacrificed?
In June, it's the next meeting, and trustees override Henyard's veto, and the special investigation goes ahead again. Lightfoot takes to the mic to make a little speech, but midway through, Mike's muted. The meeting degenerates, and police have to break up the room before it becomes an all-out brawl.
Dude, she's pissed.
Okay, about Lori Lightfoot. Until recently, she was the mayor of Chicago.
Oh yeah! That's where I remember her face from.
During that time, she's not too popular.
Yeah.
During the first lockdown, Lightfoot had come down hard, ordering all non-essential workers to stay at home for months on end.
I'm gonna say it sucked being an essential worker, dude. Everybody's sitting at home, getting their fucking feet rubbed, getting comfy, getting nice and toasty and warm, and you're out there fucking slaving away.
A few weeks in, and she's spotted next to her barber with a fresh trim.
I like your cut, G.
Why do you need a haircut in the middle of COVID? You're not even seeing anybody!
I take my personal hygiene very seriously.
Buddy, it's your fucking hair.
This doesn't go down well.
Brother, this guy stinks!
She's also seen driving around the streets of Chicago, literally screaming at people to go home. Then there's the general mismanagement of the city, surge in theft and robberies. And she's also trying to shut down public FOIA requests, despite campaigning on openness and transparency. This results in over 109 lawsuits. She's also singing, dancing, and making TikToks.
Oh yeah. Very
this
popular.
Is while Chicago turns into a harsh wasteland, awash with violent crime, which has risen 40% with her
Oh my
in charge.
god!
This is the woman picked to investigate Tiffany Henyard. And
Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's not very good.
She's being paid $400 an hour to do it.
What? Bro! What is she doing? Giving him blowjobs while she's at it too?
Anyway, around 3 months later, and in August 2024, the investigation is getting somewhere. So Lightfoot holds a press conference, showcasing some findings. Turns out, Tiffany and friends had access to 6 Dalton credit cards, and they made use of them. $218,000 on Amazon purchases.
What?
$43,000 of that spent.
How do you spend that much? I can't even think of things that I would want to buy for decorations for 200 grand, bro. What do you mean? I've never spent that much in a fucking year ever. Like, what the frick? What?
In one day. The village doesn't have an Amazon account.
We created this.
No, I'm serious. Like, cars don't fucking cost that much. How much does a Tesla cost? Like 80 grand? 90 grand? She funded Bezos' second wedding? Yeah, isn't that shit like $1 billion?
Most $400,000 on 3 vehicles. Around $8,000 on hair and makeup in a couple of months. $170,000 on business travel. Trips to Atlanta, New York, Jackson, and Portland. With first-class seats. And tens of thousands on 4 Seasons and Marriott hotel stays.
Oh my lord,
More
man.
than $51,000 on...
$8,000 on makeup, someone just pointed out. My makeup kit costs maybe like $80. I don't have expensive makeup. And that's if I fucking use it that often. I don't really go out or do anything.
Food.
I just
Thousands
have
of dollars
it.
a month to an Atlanta-based PR firm. And then the $15,000 for her inauguration party. Something she'd said she'd pay for herself. Overall, at least $780,000 in undocumented and unapproved village expenses.
Undocumented.
As well as $1 million in police overtime. This is in a village of 20,000 people. Also, the village's legally required state audits and reports never filed. The legally required treasurer position never filled. The village's accounting software tracking receipts, payments,
It's
and
broken.
checks, everyone's locked out.
Yep.
There had been a few finance directors, but they were intermittent and only worked part-time. As a
Yep.
result, the
So keeping track of all that shit is impossible.
village finances
Yeah.
not great. Back in April 2022, the village had a surplus of $5.6 million in its general fund.
How?
This is the account used to fund day-to-day operations. When the village contracted people for work, they actually paid them. Fast forward to mid-2024, and that is now minus $3.6 million.
How do you shit the bed that hard? What happened? Oh, I know, corruption. We gotta put that in our pocket, chat. $8,000 in makeup. Everybody gets free merch. Everybody gets to fly around, you know, do whatever they want.
A $9 million swing. They haven't been able to pay anyone since March 2023. 589 checks, worth around $6 million. Approved, printed, and sent out to vendors, but bouncing right back. Okay, things are not looking great, but it's fine. This is a
Yeah,
private
it's
investigation.
fine.
Lightfoot has no official power, and no legal
Why make your
consequences can come of
Gandalf?
it. So that same month, time to get the beers in. It's
Yeah,
the
time
Taste
to
of Dalton
party.
Street Party, and Henyard is flying in famous rappers and singers for it. This event costs over $85,000. $4,000 of that is on bouncy castles. She also has plans for a
I
picnic.
mean, those kids need bouncy castles, clearly. Not like a safe neighborhood to like go to school in. They need bouncy castles.
Trustees object to this,
Uh-huh.
but to no avail. And on the 1st of September, the Friends of Tiffany Henyard picnic is held at her rink. Skating, food giveaways,
Wow.
more bouncy castles.
Yeah.
Right, enough. And funding for all events is officially cut.
Thank
Gospel
God.
Fest, House Fest, even Big Bingo. Tiffany and her boyfriend, who now has a job running the township's at-risk youth program.
How is that not nepotistic as fuck? Give him a normal job.
For $100K a year.
What?
And now also facing eviction.
So now they make like another combined $400,000 together.
See, they'd had a $200 rent increase, and in response, decided to just stop paying rent entirely.
I'm not leaving.
They were on a combined salary of almost $400K a year. They also changed the locks and garage code, so now their landlord can't even step foot in the building.
What are you doing spending money? You don't even spend it on rent?
Also, more bankruptcy fraud. This time, Henyard's chief policeman is indicted, having filed for bankruptcy 9 times. This was allegedly done to hide.
Don't banks stop giving you money after one bankruptcy? Like, how does that work? What?
Hide assets, bank accounts,
Yes,
and
queen.
monthly income from creditors. He's shown the door. Despite all of this, for Tiffany, spirits remain high.
Of
and
course
she's
they do.
decided
How much coke do you think she does?
now is a great time
Like a
to
lot.
announce her bid for re-election. She closes out the year, threatening to arrest opponents,
I will be seeking arrest
She's a Gestapo.
for individuals involved.
and getting booed out of board meetings.
Boo! You suck!
The year is now 2025. Dalton is almost $4 million in the hole, has around 50 lawsuits against it, and the village's super mayor is barely even turning up to meetings
Of
anymore.
course, naturally.
Regardless,
How is she not in jail? There's 3 minutes left. Please tell me there's some justice, man.
this is a big year. Both of Henyard's positions are up for grabs, and she's gunning for a second term for both. But on the township side, bad news. She's just lost the Democratic primary nomination for supervisor, which means that now
stinky.
that's essentially out of reach. It's okay. She can still run for re-election as Dalton's mayor, and she's confident. In fact, she predicts a landslide.
When I come in with a landslide this evening, I'm gonna be so great. Y'all can all come to the after party.
She's now running against Jason
Buddy.
House, a Dalton trustee and previous ally, and election
Oh no. Please don't let him be as corrupt as her.
day isn't far off, so she ramps up her campaign. This involves making diss tracks.
Feeding the people.
What?
Tuesday, January 28th,
Diss tracks for politicians.
and a board meeting in Thornton
2025 is not what I imagined when I was a child.
starts like any other. The trustees gather, and
There's some
residents sit
ass
down
chat.
to watch. However, that Chicago activist from earlier, well, he's here too. And he's
Based.
walking up to the microphone to make a statement.
Let's go. Giga Chad? They cut the mic.
You go, bitch.
Damn!
A massive brawl breaks out instantly. Henyard's boyfriend rushes in and swings.
Oh my god! Dude, you can't make this shit up!
Another bloke not long after that.
Oh my
Tiffany
lord.
herself not long after that. Screams,
Wait, she fights the guy too?
shoving, punches.
She's like, yeah,
and
yeah, fight
A
him,
security
fight him.
guard hits the deck. Henyard loses the shoe.
Oh my god.
I think Tiffany's too.
What is with politicians and throwing shoes? Didn't George Bush do that?
Her wig also
George
gets
W?
airtime. She hits her head on a table and hits the deck too.
Oh no!
Multiple televisions in the room are smashed and people injured. The police are called and the meeting is over. Henyard
Oh, she got a shoe thrown at him. Yeah, but that's still a shoe involved in politics. Come on, it's funny.
her boyfriend, and the township are sued for assault and battery and emotional distress. Her boyfriend is also fired.
Oh, boo-hoo, bitch.
25th of February, 2025. It's election day in Dalton, and votes begin to come in.
Don't fucking do it, please.
The results for the Democratic nomination
win,
are
please.
taking shape, and Tiffany Henyard loses.
Yes!
It's not close.
Thank God!
After years of public service, Dalton's super mayor
I don't know why she's not in jail. That's what was fucked up about it. Like, yeah, she lost, woohoo, but she should be in jail.
Just let go.
It's criminal.
Cast into the wind. Gone.
Goodbye, bitch. See ya. Bye.
She says people didn't give her a chance.
People didn't give me a chance. I think that I was blindsided.
You mean for 4 years?
I came in 2021.
I should have become a politician. Yeah, I should have been a politician, not a fucking VTuber. Holy. That was awesome. Chad, did you enjoy that? Corrupt politicians getting what they freaking deserve, except everything but jail. Go check out Big Boss. I love that.